Well, I think everyone is going to agree with me and say, yes, of course it's possible. Is it probable or likely or easy? Absolutely not. Coach Greg, and today I'm going to be sharing you my opinion on Jeff Cavaliere. Most likely have heard of this guy, Athlean X. He has over 8 million followers. That is insane. So this guy, arguably the most popular fitness website you can go on YouTube to get information about training, diet, nutrition, and so forth. I've had hundreds, if not thousands, of messages in total asking, is he natural? Is he not natural? I want you to describe it. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree with what he says, and so on? I should remind you, I don't know him personally, and I've never met him, so everything I share with you is just my opinion on what I think. Okay, so let's get right into it. He is 44 years old. I am 44 years old, so we're the same age. He has his master's degree in university in physiotherapy. He studied sciences and whatnot, and so he's very well educated and understands the human body. He's obviously extremely bright. For 3 years, he was a strength and conditioning coach and basically like a physiotherapist for the New York Mets. So just think of the competition of how good you have to be to get a job like that. Everybody would want that job, anyone in his field. So to get hired and to be able to do that year after year, and they didn't fire him, he stopped. He wanted to be with his family more and all this stuff. So he's obviously very bright and understands the human body, and I've watched several of his videos, especially lately because more and more people have been asking me about him. And I do agree with probably 90 to 95% of what he says. And if you want to learn, especially about like the biomechanics of the body, injuries, rehab, that kind of thing, I think his information is like really good. If you're just looking at how to lose weight, diet, I think his knowledge on nutrition, it's not quite as high up there on how to like lose weight and maintain it and keep it off in terms of how he explains it to people. Not quite as good. But he's obviously in really good shape himself. When people see a very lean body, the immediate assumption is, that's not natural. How are you so lean? Because people keep saying, well, when you're leaner, you lower your testosterone levels, which is true. However, he's not mind-blowing, contest shape, crazy rip. And how big is this guy? Well, he's about 5'8". He's like 2 inches taller than me and about 10 pounds smaller, okay? So a couple inches shorter, 10 pounds smaller, and based on, if you had to compare our heights, I have about 25 pounds more muscle on my frame, for my frame size, than he does. I'm not natural, okay? So is it possible that he could have that much muscle, 5'8" and around 185, natural? Well, I think everyone is going to agree with me and say, yes, of course it's possible. Is it probable or likely or easy? Absolutely not. He has gifted genetics to be as lean as he is and as muscular as he is. And to just see him in a t-shirt, you're not going to be like, wow. I honestly looked at him, I'm like, what are these people saying, steroids? I'm like, he doesn't have hardly any muscle. But it's like he's wearing a shirt. When he's flexing out of the shirt, it's like, okay, now you see why they think it, because his muscles are quite ripped, and he has a really good physique. The guy is passionate about fitness and health. He has this YouTube channel, millions of followers. He trains all the time. He studies, he's intelligent, he knows what to do. So you gotta think, somebody with really good genetics that puts their heart and soul into training and really cares can do this. Now, he claims to be 5% body fat. I mean, he's not 5% body fat, okay? That maybe is why people have assumed that he's like on steroids. When you say 5%, 5% is insanely shredded. Now, one of the problems is people use bod pod testing and DEXA scans and all these methods to estimate body fat, and they're often so wrong, okay? You can get a guy come in and say 5% on the DEXA scan, and they barely have abs. It's like, what? And you can see somebody come in and it says they're 10%, and they're shredded with veins all over the place. So Jeff is not 5%. He's closer to 8%, okay? I'm 8%. So you might be thinking, oh, but Jeff is way leaner than you. Okay, so this is 8% body fat for me right now, okay? So I don't know if it comes across. I have fairly lean physique at 8% body fat, okay? This is 8%. Yes, I'm enhanced and the whole thing. Yeah, natural, whatever. I'd be way smaller. I'm not trying to say I'm better than Jeff or whatever. I'm saying I have 25 pounds more muscle, enhanced. If I were natural, I probably would be more like his size. So I would say if he was to take steroids and do whatever, he probably could get to my size. And 8% is not fat. It's not bad. It's awesome. 8 to 12 is like superior like zone for athletic performance. It's very lean. He's not 5%, okay? If he were 5%, to function at 5%, I barely can function at 5%. It's hard enough now, okay? You have no energy and you feel like shit. So he's not 5%, he's 8%, and he's 5'8" and 185. If he dieted and got to 5%, he'd be in the 170s. So you got to think, can a guy be 170 something pounds and 5% body fat at over 5'8"? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. Is it impossible? No. But you have to think that somebody that really cares and tries their best is going to be able to do this. Okay, so as far as videos goes, a lot of them are great and a lot of them are like lacking a little bit. But I mean, we all do. My videos, half of them suck. I'm not the best explainer in the world of stuff. So we all have strengths and weaknesses. Now, his diet, he says what he eats, and it's like, do this and do that. And it's like, okay, his diet is maybe 3,000 calories a day, and he eats a certain way. And you're like, well, how can he eat that much? 3,000 calories, and he's so lean. He's active. He burns it off. There's no magic here. The law of thermodynamics is going to apply to everybody, okay? He's not from another planet. He doesn't have alien DNA. He's not Superman. He has to burn it off. If you burn off the calories that you eat, you will be lean. He obviously cares about being lean. When he was in high school, he was lean. His genetics are to be lean. So for him, it's just normal to carry a lower body fat percent, coupled with the fact that he is eating at an exact kind of calorie range that maintains that look for him. And he's in shape. He does training and cardio and works with people, and he's a personal trainer and all this stuff. So it's obviously going to help to burn off the calories, keep him at maintenance, and allow him to be that lean year-round. And just because he's 44, you can't say, oh, he's 44. No one can look like that at 44. Compare him to a guy like Mike O'Hearn here. I mean, if some people think that Mike O'Hearn is natural, and then if you think there's a chance that Mike O'Hearn's natural, why can't you think that Jeff is natural? He's like 70 pounds smaller, and I know he's like shorter, but I mean, come on. They're not even in the same realm of size. Freaks are going to have muscle, okay? Jeff is not a freak. He doesn't look like, oh my God, how could he be natural? He has a great build, he's in shape, and he looks good. It's not unrealistic to achieve. 1 in 100 people that work out hard, that put that kind of dedication, can get to that. Just because you're not one of them doesn't mean that he's not. So try not to judge other people just because, you know, you maybe don't have quite as good of the genetics, the work ethic, the determination, the decades of training. It's not like he just puts in a couple hours work here and there. This is something he's been passionate about for decades, okay? Myself, I'm 44 years old, but I've been training since I was 10. And when you think, if you have really good genetics and you train for your whole life, somebody's going to be able to do it. If you take 100 people and they all try really hard, by the time they're in their 40s, out of the 100, 5 are going to look freaking amazing, and you're going to be like, wow, I don't think that person's natural because the other 95 look like shit, and why is it that these guys look so good? They just happen to have that better amount of genetics. Same as any sport. 100 people play basketball their whole life. Maybe one gets good enough to make a university team. Then you take 100 people in university and they're all playing basketball and one makes it to the NBA. You take 100 players in the NBA and one is LeBron James. So you get those genetic anomalies, 1 in a billion freak genetics, and it's like, it blows your mind and you think there's no way that it could be natural. But with those 1 in a billion, 1 in a million, whatever, rare genetics, and you take so many people and all of them put their, best effort into being the best they can be, one is going to be a freak and be that outlier, and you think there's no way, okay? It's like when I went on a video about Tristan Lee and I said, look, he's natural. And it's like, yeah, most people, if they look like that, are not going to be natural. It doesn't mean that 1 in 1,000 can't. So you can't just assume and say, well, they're not. If you're a betting man, bet that they're not. But you're only going to be right 90% of the time. You're going to be wrong sometimes. So when you see all these freaks like the simian pandas and so on, all these like, oh my God, Ulysses, Jeff Seed, it's like most likely they're all on steroids. If you want to bet money, you're the smarter person to bet that they're not natural. But if I name 100 of these famous fitness people, 5 are going to be actually natural, even though it looks like there's no way they could. 5 are just freak genetics and they can do it. So I'm going to end it there. 2 more videos to bloop up and watch. Check them out. GregDoucette.com is my website. Instagram, Greg Doucette, IFBB Pro. Follow me on that. Till next time.